Hello and welcome to Dating Discussions with Ronnie and Yasheka. I am Ronnie Walker, your host for the day, master coach of exceptional relationships, dating, and sex. And you will notice that there is one person missing, and it's Yasheka. And listen, Yasheka's on an incredible mission at the moment, and she really wants to be here today, but I asked that she go ahead and finish doing what she's doing. Her time is much needed where it's been expected, and so I can assure you she will be in here tomorrow. So for those of you who are coming in to see Yasheka, you're stuck with me. So I'll try to do the best I can to compensate. But I can assure you that the information that I have to share is still just as valuable, of something that me and Yasheka collaborated on. So we're on day 5. And today we're going to talk about understanding your love language. Now, many of you by now know what a love language is, and if not, then I'm going to cover that. Now, the whole concept of love languages was because of a book by a gentleman by the name of, I think his name was Gary Chapman, and the Spaces of Divorce. And he listed these 5 love languages, is that if there's some things that you're looking for in terms of finding someone for your life, as well as once you're in a marriage, and things that you could choose to maintain a set of growth and meet the needs of each other. And I'm going to cover that, but I'm also going to cover again the 6 human needs that we all have. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not trying to put this out to more so the women or the men or the men or the women. Dating in and of itself takes work. We get that. Many of you, based on how old you are, and the experiences you've had, good, bad, or otherwise, you know that. So this is going to go out. And of course, a lot of this is for those of you who are in relationships and looking to go to next level in your relationship and part of the growth. But for those that are now getting into a new attitude of dating going into 2022, we both want you to have the success that you're hoping to. But we both understand that with our experience of coaching, as well as in our personal life and friends, certainly friends and family, we do understand that there are different phases that you are in your dating space. Many of you are frustrated. Many of you are frustrated to the point where you've given up. And this is not something that we want to do. But there's something Yasheka and I both agree on, is that you are designed for a relationship. We really truly believe that. You'll hear Yasheka consistently say, let's get to the love so we can get to the love making. And if you listen to any of the things that I've shared on my platform, I truly believe, and I stand on the fact that we're built for relationships and where we need to go. But first, what I also find far too often is far too many people are complaining about the lack of resources or the lack of men. Now, based on who you talk to, there'll be those who will say, listen, there's tons of resources out there. The challenge is how to use them and in which order. And this is something that Yasheka and I is hoping to provide some form of clarity to get to this point so that you can be successful in your mental preparation, your physical preparation, as well as your overall attitude toward the dating process. Because we want to be able to make sure that we're putting you in the best possible position so that regardless of who you attract and that wants to meet you or those you want to meet, you're in a position where you cannot waste time and finding out if this is the right person for you. But in the end, regardless of your attitude of, Ronnie, there's no good men out there. Ronnie, there's no good women out there. I can assure you, Yasheka and I don't agree with that at all. We just don't. Maybe you're in the wrong space, but more than likely, it's how you feel overall about the other person, or if it's a woman, how the women feel about the men, how the men feel about the women. And that affects your overall attitude going into the dating space. So, what are the 5 love languages? Well, 1 is words of affirmation. 2, quality of time or quality time. 3, physical touch. 4, acts of service. 5, receiving gifts. So let's break this down. Words of affirmation. We talk about this when we talk in the space of communication. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you need to understand and be honest with yourself when we're talking about what words of affirmation mean to us. What does the other person say? What is it that you say in general that affirms you in the space that you feel in the relationship? And this could be the case whether it's just your platonic friends, that you feel appreciated and accepted, and that your presence is something that they look forward to. It's also in the space of your job, your career, repeat customers, the same customers. They love what you do. That in some form or fashion affirms you through their actions and through their words. I love coming to this bakery. Your cupcakes are out of this world. Words of affirmation. Hey, great job, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and what you're doing. Words of affirmation. Baby, I'm really grateful. I really feel blessed to have you in my life. Words of affirmation. What has to be said for you to feel affirmed in your relationship and even in the dating process? Because you don't want your time wasted and you don't want to waste their time. So this is something in the space of communication that if this is something that's very important to you, make sure that you communicate that effectively. Quality of time. I keep saying quality of time when it says quality time. What does that look like? And see, based on where you are in your life or the type of people that you tend to date or be attracted to, let's just say this person is an entrepreneur. And let's say this person is starting a restaurant. They're a chef. Now, if you know anything about chefs, they spend a lot of time in the kitchen. For those who own restaurants, they spend a lot of time there. Now, that or what you're expecting of that person in quality of time may be different from the person who has a 9-to-5, or a person who's a doctor, or a person who's a nurse, or a bus driver, or someone who's unemployed. It's different. So what has to happen? What type of time are we talking about? And see, when we're not talking about just sometimes in each other's presence, we're talking about fully dedicated to you. The attention is on you. Your attention is on that person. Phones down, and you're into each other. It could be watching a movie at home. It could be going to the movie. It could be a picnic in the park. What does that look like for you? What does quality of time look like for you? And really be honest about that. And be honest and be prepared that if that is something that you're looking for, expecting that person, and that person communicates to you that based on what they're doing, they can't meet that particular need of yours, or at least in the way you wish it to. Yeah, I get it. They may feel some other parts that are good for you, but that sticks out the most to you, then that may not be the person. Okay? Physical touch. Now, usually when you hear men talk about this, ladies, don't think that when men talk about physical touch, that we're only talking about sex. But let's not rule out sex. But before we get into that part, are you someone who considers yourself very affectionate? Do you want someone who's affectionate like you? Do you like holding hands? A kiss on the forehead? A massage every now and then? See, some people were brought up in households where, affection wasn't the strong suit. And that doesn't make you a bad person. But it just means that that is what you're looking for from a partner, a lifetime person, then a relationship partner. your spouse, then that may not be the person for you. So what does physical touch? What has happened for that thing for you to be met about? Acts of service. Now, it could be something as simple as doing the housework for you one day a week, taking out the trash, mopping, painting that, one of your something on your list that you wanted to do, and he did it for you. What are the acts of service? Sometimes an act of service is their physical presence. So as you write this down, again, visit and really be honest about what these mean and what has happened in order for you to addressing the meeting and addressing your love language. Last one, receiving gifts. And again, doesn't have to necessarily mean some designer bag or clothes or some sort of car. Although I'm sure there are many who say that's exactly what they mean. But this is, again, gentlemen, why you need to have the honest and effective communication to find out what that means for her. A gift to her may be a surprise birthday party. Maybe a surprise party and achievement she made. That could also be your presence when she was expected. These are the things, the 5 love languages that, again, they address the different needs of each other. And then when you accept the concept that you're in a relationship to give and not just receive, then you really understand and you take this internal as you go back out into the world of dating. Very, very key. And then we talk about the human needs. We're talking about certainty, variety, significance, love, connection, growth, contribution. Again, let me slow this down. Certainty, variety, significance, love, connection, growth, contribution. And with those human needs, how do you go about having these needs met? And if and when you do find out with someone that you really truly are in tune with, once you find out what their love language is, what they put at the top of their list in terms of it, also find out what it means for them to have those needs met. How can you address their love language? Because it's not just about the way you want to address it, it's the way they wish to have it addressed. Ladies and gentlemen, dating doesn't have to, you don't want to put yourself in a space where you're doing more work than you have to. But it starts with you. So it's not more so the resources as it is the resourcefulness of yourself moving forward as you go out and prepare yourself to meet Mr. and Mrs. Young. So I hope that covers a couple of things here today. And if you have any questions, you can go to datingdiscussions.com, and there you can get some information from Yasheka and I, and you can also reach out to us for coaching one-on-one with either of us or both of us. You can also go to Ronnie and Yasheka@gmail.com and send us an email and share some thoughts that you feel we could address, or questions that we can answer, or maybe even a topic that you feel that we can cover. You can find me on Yasheka Dating Discussions on Facebook and IG. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward into the next couple of days, leading into Christmas, we want to make sure that we continue to add value and the resources so that you can be resourceful in using what we have to offer value that we used to put in your dating space so that you can be successful and, of course, have fun while you're dating. My name is Ronnie Walker, and also I'm going to say a special hello to Yasheka, and I'm sure Yasheka is saying a hello to you as well. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow in the space. And then you Take care, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.